Yep. So again, I'm Sohana. So today's topic is going to be biology of a belief, and it is our fourth day. So now let us get into this session, and like every day, let us start with our meditation, and then let's get into the topic. And biology of a belief is little important topic, and it cannot be hurried up like in everything compiled in just one day. So let us go like much more deeply, like today and tomorrow, part 1 and part 2. So after the meditation we'll get into it. So now let us start our meditation, and our meditation is going to be anapanasati. So it's just about sitting in sukhasana, closing your eyes and watch your breath. So watch your breath just in a posture that cross your fingers and clasp your fingers, cross your legs and close your eyes, and just watch your breath. So feel that you're breathing, and it is going to be guided meditation. And especially this is all made for this Kartik Masa, right? So it is like more of meditation. So in the previous session for 21 days we had so much knowledge but a little bit of meditation, but here we will have so much of meditation. And then let's discuss about the topic. And topic, whatever it is, every day it is going to be deeper. And yes, so now let us all kindly close our eyes and get into the meditation. And it is going to be guided, so please follow the instructions to be on the same pace. So yep. Just close your eyes, relax your body, rest your mind. Relax your mind and body. Just watch your breath. Kindly do not open your eyes. Come what may, just be with your breath. To make it easier to focus, have all your attention at your nostrils. Only to make yourself witness the breath in and out. Do not worry about your thoughts. Your focus or attention is your limelight. So let all the limelight be with the breath. Just be with the natural, tender, and soft breath. Do not be with your thoughts, be with your breath. Feel that and witness your breath, the consistent process happening within you. Do not hold on to any of your thoughts. Let all your awareness be with you. All the day we just be with our thoughts. So it is the time to be with our breath. Our only responsibility is to witness our breath. Do not control your breath. Let it be the natural one. let us all give our true efforts in this process. It is absolutely all our responsibility to witness the process. As you inhale, let every cell in your body witness the process. Every cell matters, so let them all witness the process. Do not worry about anything. Do not think about anything. Enjoy the process as you feel your breath. Till wherever you can, just travel deeper and deeper. All your responsibility is to be with yourself. So be it. Make yourself absolutely comfortable and adaptive to this. No matter wherever you are, come back to yourself. Cleanse every body that you consist of. Allow the process to happen. So do not hold on to anything. Let us all unfold the things we are holding so that the flow of process can be spontaneous and natural. Take yourself all the way into the bliss, which is absolutely nothing Only the beautiful silence that you can be in. Last 3 minutes. Enjoy the silence that you have created, meeting your own self. Just be grateful for everything, especially to your breath. Show all the gratitude. It deserves it the most. Whenever you are ready, place your hands on your eyes at least for 5 seconds. And then you can open your eyes. So, it was a beautiful session. So, yep. So, now let us get into our topic, and I hope we really had a good, energizing meditation and witnessing our breath. And especially, it is all about today something much deeper about belief we actually, generate or we actually maintain. So, let us all get to discuss about it. So, overview. What all we are going to look into this is uh, where actually what generates our belief, like how a belief is being generated, like what are the factors that generate our belief. So most of the time it's been told that our genes, our genes, like in whichever way that in physical inheritance that we got it from our parents or forefathers or whatever. So from the previous generation to this generation, and from this generation to the next generation, so in that way our genes have been inherited. So when they have been inherited, so what happened? So it is clearly been told that in 19th centuries that completely genes are the real factors that generate our beliefs. So it is the first thing that we are going to learn about is what makes our genes on and off, like what makes our genes to create such kind of beliefs or belief patterns. So that is the first thing that we are going to understand. And second thing is, it's been told, this is all about a book, that biology of a belief. So most of them that I have been really inspired by that book, and it's really beneficial, and it had shared a very good knowledge about belief, because to validate or to, you know, modulate our belief, we need right knowledge. So in that book I've really found, and I have just put what all things that I really loved. So it's just that second thing, why should we always make peace, not war? So in this meditation process or in this spiritual journey, what are we actually learning every second or every time? It's all about just being in peace. So it's all interlinked, our belief, our emotions, our thoughts, and this is all the imaginary structure of, this all happens in our mind, and mind is the biggest imaginary structure. And let us know that today something that I've understood by this topic, there is a good secret about mind. So when we go into that part, let me tell you. So second thing is, why we are made in the image of God or the universe. So like the first thing that our guru, or in every olden scriptures that we find is, we are God, like complete in a peaceful way. It's just that we are gods, and it is always very hard for us to understand when we are in a atheist mood. But comparatively, it's always that being told in this way that we are all gods, and our innate structure or our immortal feature is from the godliness. So it that is how we have been told. But what actually happens, let us see. Where is the next slide? Yeah, so this one is cooperation rather than competition should be central tenet in our theory of evolution. So this is the first law in the biology of a belief. So what is the first law? It suggests that never we should have a competition in the evolution, right? It's always in the competitive way, just with our neighbors, or the one with the same age group or whatever it is. It's all about the competition we have, but we never have a cooperation. So he actually tries to explains in a way that for evolution we always need cooperation. He gives a best example and explanation about the cell structure in our body. There are many cells, right? Some 100 trillion cells that our body consists of. So each and every cell, they have been cooperating to generate each and every belief, and to again receive that signals and just generate in the another form that emotions. So this is something kind of Newton's law, that A can leads to B, and A can even leads to C. So in the same way, our thoughts can be moved into the belief pattern, and from their belief pattern, it's like receiving the signals and again reacting into the action. So how that happens? Every cell does that in our body. So they all have a good cooperation and coordination. So that is how they are able to mechanize every functioning in our body. So that good example, he says that we always need cooperation, not competition. So when competition is there, eventually wars happen, right? So it's all about just he throughout the book he only explains about the cells and how cells are important in this process of uh, a belief system or belief patterns, and how our belief pattern is made up of. So it is little deep, but mostly interesting what I felt. So this is the second law, that brain of a cell which controls cell behavior. It is not its nucleus but its membrane. So this has a very beautiful thing, that every cell will have a brain, so called membrane, not the nucleus. Nucleus is just something that which can there is a cell. For example, take something that there is a cell, one cell. So that one cell, what happens, it has a nucleus. Nucleus has the another thing in it called DNA, right? From that DNA, what happens, this cell becomes a parent cell, and out of that cell another cell generates, like it gives birth to the another cell, and that cell is going to be the child cell, unless and until it gives birth to the another child cell, then it becomes the parent cell. So that is how each and every cell, those 100 trillion cells, have been born like that, only with the cooperation. So what happens, so DNA and the nucleus are going to do the reproduction of cells, but they are not generating the mechanism in it. So they are not pushing the mechanism, or they are not, they cannot, able to do that functioning process. What functioning process? It's all about the way we perceive from the outer world and generate in our body, into our mind, and then again react back in the form of our behavior into this action. So this is just that only cell has a membrane, and cell has a outer structure, like our body, in visualization they say that we have an aura, an energy body protecting out our body, just the way every cell will have an aura. So that is called membrane. So what does membrane do? It receives the signal from the outer world or the environment, and then it pushes into the cell. And what happens, cell tries to adapt to that environment, and then it gives the reaction into this action. So that is how each and every cell does in our body. So all of these cells, what happens, where does those cells lie? He says that all the cells be in our mind. So how is that possible? We have been told that mind is just this much, but how all the body we have cells, and how is that possible? He says that our whole body is the mind. Mind is not just limited this much or this much, that is brain, but our whole body is mind. So what happens when our whole body is mind? Because every cell is part of our mind, right? So that is how the action and reaction, but in the outer form, in just, this is the most inner structure we are looking into, though they are called cells and their functioning. But the intermediate structure of it is our thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. What is the outer structure? It's behavior, our actions. So that is all about, about the cell structure. And cell has a brain which actually reacts, receives the signal and reacts, and that becomes our behavior in this outer structure. And this is the third law. I think we have 11 laws in it, the most important 11 laws. So this one is a okay, there is a scientist called Darwin, right? So Darwin is, he had many inventions and discoveries, but it all about the science and biology. But here what happens is, despite what Darwinists believe, there is a lot of evidence to suggest that genes do not determine our development. So what happens, according to the genes, they say that, right, DNA, according to the parents' DNA that is being inherited to the child, so it's the same genes they have. But here the actual fact is, irrespective of the genes. So actually this biology of a belief is completely for the parents, and it is completely about parenting. So it is not just limited that you should be a mother or a father to understand this, but we are parent to our inner self, right? Our, we are parent to ourselves, and we are even child to ourselves sometimes. So in either ways we need it. So here what happens is, genes do not determine our development. Then he says that every cell has the capacity and capability to accommodate according to the environment that it is in. So when it is in that way, then why it has to be completely on the genes of the parents or on the previous generation's inheritance? So it is completely that if you have to develop something or if you have to implement something, it is all about the cells you maintain. It is all about the cells you put them in, which kind of environment you want to or you wish to. So it depends only on that. So there is nothing restricting that, only genes does this. Because why genes came into the picture? The cell has DNA, and DNA is something that generates, or it's been told that that is the point of thing that which can transfer the genetical features from previous generation to this generation. But it is not the way. For example, it is all about majorly considered to the physical health. So many a times it's been told that if the parents be diabetic, then it's been told that you have chances to be prone to diabetes. But that's not the fact. Every cell has the capacity to generate its own functionality, generate its own lively thing. So when it has that capacity, you do not have to worry about, am I going to be in this way, or am I going to be prone to such diseases or such things? So there is nothing like that. It is only that our our belief patterns are made in such a way, because every sense organs work to give the signals, right? The outer signals are from the sense organs, and from sense organs it reaches to each and every cell. From how does it reach to each and every cell? From sense organs. That is why we have nervous system, and the mediator part is the brain. So this is the functioning happening, and we just believe unconsciously that genes are the only structure. So this actually, the biology of a belief is for first parenting, and second one especially for healing your health issues. So it is more all about healing your health. If you have any issues, or if you've been facing any issues, so it can heal it. So this is about genes. So this is just the basic about genes, and in later laws you'll get into much more deeper about genes and cell structures. So theories in medical science are outdated, and this puts us in danger. So what he says here is, theories in medical science are completely outdated. So he gave a very beautiful example that sometimes we might have some kind of food. Just take an example about respiratory system. For example, when you consider people, due to some issues they might have respiratory issues, like maybe it's been told that from parents or someone, like this is been inherited, or the genes have been transferred, and that is how we are made to believe. And in some other cases, the same respiratory issues people will have who smoke, right? Isn't that? So he says that when each and every person can receive through their signals in a unique way, when that is happening in a unique way, how can the treatment be same for all the respiratory issues for every person? Is it that something sensible? Every person is being if they are in if they are with any health issue or something like that. So it might have happened because of their cell not functioning properly. When cell is not functioning properly, how it's been clearly told that, or how it's been clearly prescribed that you have to go through such treatment. That is why most of our physical medical treatments are completely with side effects, no matter what. It's just a temporary healing or temporary treatment, but end of it, because sometimes imagine that if a doctor can really heal something, or can if he can, really cure a disease or something like that. uh, there are many cases that even doctors been prone to things. For example, in this covid in this covid season, like completely what actually happened, many of the doctors even got affected with it, right? Then when it is been completely in this way that okay, only medical treatments can heal the things, but even doctor is helpless on a broader horizon. So it's just that every cell functions uniquely and lively, and every cell has the capacity that even if we are dead, the cell imprints are still alive. So cell has a beautiful feature that when it has only two features. One is protecting feature, and the other one is growth feature. So what happens is, when a cell is completely just, there is an experiment done that a cell is taken out from the body and put in a cultured dish, just a dish. So what happened, when you just put a virus in the dish too, cell starts moving as far as it can go. When you just put a protein instead of virus in the dish, it starts gravitating itself towards the protein for its growth. So it has only two features. And what happens in these two features, these two features cannot happen simultaneously. Either protection can happen or the growth can happen, but they don't together happen at a time. So what happens when there are two features given to our cell, the protection and the growth? So these are the two main features that every cell in our body consists of. So when we are fully stressed, our each and every cell start getting into a safer zone, adapting to the environment that it is all stressed enough. So when it is all stressed, the cell starts, instead of growth or instead of growing, it goes into a mood that it has to protect itself. So it decompresses completely. It cannot grow, and it starts being completely uh, not much lively, almost half dead. So unless and until it gives the protein or the growth thing. So there are like two features, there are two kinds of proteins in the membrane. So this is the functionality, but who is doing that functionality? Membrane is doing that functionality, protecting and the growing thing. So when membrane is doing that, what happens? Membrane has even two kinds of proteins in it, the nutrient in a chemical form. So what happens? What are the two proteins? One is the receptor protein and the other is reacting protein. So receptor protein, what it does, according to the environment, if it is stressed, it perceives the stress signal and gives it to the membrane. What membrane does? Membrane, when it receives the signal from the receptor protein, it pushes into the reacting protein. When reacting protein receives that signal that this is all stressful, what it does, it takes into the nucleus, into the DNA. Then what happens? And again, the reaction starts coming, the action starts coming out of the cell structure, the membrane. And from there, when it releases out from the cell, it becomes the behavior. So not just one cell does that, all of the cells together does, then it becomes a behavior out of our mind, then that is one belief pattern. So that is how it actually works. Then he says our all medical treatments are completely outmoded, like completely outdated. So when they are all outdated, what happens, we still believe, like our belief patterns or our believing instincts are completely stuck there with only that kind of treatments, to that kind of treatments. There are, yes, there are many doctors and many scientists discovering on or inventing on many new medicines or treatments. Why? It is not for unique treatment or something. It is that as we are generating multiple unique ways of our thoughts or thought patterns, we are able to see multiple different diseases coming out of our body, only because we have all the free will and freedom to behave in whichever way we want. So we are just overusing all of them. So when we are overutilizing all of those things, what happens, there are many multiple diseases even coming out of it. So when those diseases are coming, they even have to just get like this one single treatment for one disease, even they have to even look forward for again one more treatment for that new disease. So how many our new diseases come, those many new things they are going to invent for the treatments. So most of the treatments have sickness and side effects, which is not completely preferable for us to be or to get subscribed for medical treatments. So why then, what is the only source we can heal or treat ourselves? So in the next slide we can see about it. So it is just that our mind plays a crucial role in our physical health. So here he just says that the power of mind. What is mind? Mind is not just this much or the part of our brain which lies, but why they say that brain mind actually lies in part of the imaginary structure in the brain, but it's just that these cells are very small, minute in structure. Brain is also a cell, but it's a bigger in structure. So that is why it has been identified that mind actually lies in the brain, but that is not the only thing. The whole body is the mind. So however each and every cell functions, that is how our health is going to be. So that is why our physical health needs our state of mind. So that is why we are being in the spiritual journey or in our true process of knowing the innate nature or the immortal nature. So in this process, what happens? We are just neutralizing everything, every emotion, every belief, or every thought, which is just pushing us into this kind of situations or this kind of scenarios. So, mind is the only important thing which plays the crucial role in our physical health. This is the most common statement that we actually hear, but we never try to push it into our belief patterns. If we so do that, there are no going, like, there are not. There will be no doctors or hospitals left to be treated, because everyone is a doctor to themselves, becomes a doctor for themselves. So that is how it is going to be, and you don't need a doctor, because with this mindset or with this belief pattern, everything falls into place. That's it. So this is the most common statement that we always hear about. So evolution. So this is all about evolution, right? Our belief or something, like whatever we do, it is for our evolution, nothing else. So even peace is, achieving peace or attaining enlightenment is also an evolution. So what is it about? Evolution has equipped us with two basic survival mechanisms. So those two survival mechanisms are the protecting and the growth. So with that functioning, the evolution actually happens, and those two are the basic survival mechanisms. When those two are working properly, it is all clearly that we are with a good health, physical health, and even the mental health. So the next one will be from the point of yeah, this is for especially parenting. And from the point of conception, parental behavior determines how their children will think and act. So this is the beautiful statement that I liked. From the point of conception, parental behavior determine how their children will think and act. So what happens? Even our most of the time, take some scenarios that our parents, they might be stressful or they might be in whichever state of mind it might be. But what happens is whenever they just push a word or push a thought, what happens? You perceive it. When you listen, there are no chances of ignoring it, you perceive it. So when you perceive it, what happens? Every cell receives that signal. If suppose take an example of, if a child is being irritated, sorry, if a mother is completely irritated by her child's behavior, what happens? She just utters a word that you are a stupid, then stop irritating me. That goes into their every cell. Then there will be leftover that I'm a stupid. And even after that, he goes to school or a college, again their teacher or a professor says you are a stupid, and again that goes. So every time when they start perceiving with the, when what happens, when that previous survival mechanisms, when the survival mechanisms are happening, they will be stored completely. So when they are stored, whenever the same situation comes, they again come with the same imprint, the same behavior comes out. So what happens here is, even parents are completely unaware of this mechanism, that lively mechanism is happening in our body. So what they do, it is not even their fault, it is like it is from their parents, and again it is not their parents fault, and again it is from their previous generation. So this is just a chain continuing unawarely or unconsciously happening, but still right now we have got this, and it is all in our hands to modulate accordingly, to make ourselves comfortable with the environment, to provide ourselves good growth, and for a beautiful evolution. So what happens? However their children think and act. So it is not just for every mother or a father, it is even for ourselves, because we are even father or mother to ourselves, and even child to ourselves. So in this way, what happens is, it is completely our responsibility for every cell to make it function accordingly. So how do we actually do this? So what is this point of conception? So there are three main things in this point. One is point of conception. So never hold on to something that you hear or something you've heard. So first thing, that is the first thing. And second thing, behavior. When you just hear something, do not come. Behavior is the last stage. This much function is happening, like from outer world to again intermediate world, from intermediate world to complete inner world, and from complete inner world, vice versa, it travels back in the same way. So what happens again from outer world, again, the whole cycle happens and comes to the outer world again. Behavior is the again last outer world. For that behavior, what happens? When you just let this point of conception, whatever concept you perceive, if you let it come into the behavior, It is just that you have let a infected tree, infected plant to be grown as a tree. So you yourself made it big. So you messed up with the growth of the cell. So that is something a huge work again. So we have to be very conscious about these concepts. If you hear something, never conclude it or never let it go into the cell. And to all the parents, you do not have to implicate your concepts, or you yourself do not have to implicate your previous belief patterns on yourself, that I have been told that, so I'm going to do like that only, or I have been experienced, so I'll be doing like this only. So for example, I'll just tell you this, for this a good example. When I was in my previous home, I had a couple of roommates. So one of my roommate was like always cranky. Like she was always cranky, and her behavior was like, I don't know, it was little weird. So it always disturbed me, or I was always disturbing for that. So when I concentrated in that way, it was everything disturbing all the time, because I was just putting the frame of mind that she is disturbing me and I am disturbing myself. Then later on, again in the next place, that was the first place, and then I've changed to the next second place, and this is my third place. So in the second place, what happened, the like the same kind of person again I've met with, because I didn't learn the lesson from the first person, no. So again I had to be with another second person, and that woman was again the same way. Then I started understanding after 1 month, 2 months. Then I started thinking, then okay, this is all something teaching me. Then I shouldn't implicate the previous belief pattern right now in this moment. That was for that situation. And now I should actually start thinking in a broader way. I was like, okay, fine. Whatever she does, to whichever extent she does, I used to just keep calm, calm and calm. And I used to never react to it. And slowly, even my belief pattern, my behavior changed, which implicated that even her belief pattern and her behavior changed. When that happened, altogether, it was not a competitive or a comparison, it was pure cooperation. And then together we were very happy for many a days. So this event should happen with your outer body and with your inner body. This cooperation must happen within yourself. When that happens within yourself, then eventually you can see it in the outer world. So every belief pattern or every concepts that we have built up, hearing someone, seeing something, and perceiving with the previous state of minds, when you do this, everything is messed up. So always what you have to do is nothing, just nothing. That is the only solution. Let things do its own work. You do not have to involve into anything, either it cells or in the outer world. Let everyone do their work. It is completely our responsibility and right to do nothing. So the next one is that we are made in the image of the universe, and that we live on after death too. So this is the most beautiful line that I felt very sensible out of all this. So it is just, he says that though we are dead, still we are living, we are alive. So how is this possible? So he says that every cell in our body, something, there is a cute fact that he had told in this, that before our body, or before we ourselves been on this planet, first our cells came into this planet, then that made our body. So first, before us, our cells have come here. So what he says, so cells can be born but they cannot be dead unless and until it's been affected, but naturally it has no death if it's fully healthy. So what happens, so cells has that feature, when it is healthy it will not die. So what happens, why is this being told? So every cell, we are completely been told that we are god and we are universe. It's just that we are part of universe, we are from this universe because we came out from this universe. So it's just that every cell in our body, it's just like he gave a very good example of TV and antenna. So what happens is our body is TV, okay, and our cells are antenna. And what happens is our lively existence is the cells are going to be antenna and our body is TV. So in whichever way we receive signals from our cells, so cells, what happens is antenna is our cells, body is our TV, and the environment, from the environment we receive signals to antenna, then antenna carries it to the TV. So when it carries it to the body, what happens, it does, unless and until the body is fine, the signal and the processing happens until the body is healthy. At a point when the body is not working, the TV is not working properly. It's not that when TV is not working properly, that doesn't mean antenna is not receiving signals. Antenna receives signals, but TV is not working properly. So what we do, we repair the TV sometimes, or another, in the most of the cases when its lifetime is done, we go get a new TV. When we get a new TV, again the same antenna works and it portrays the picture, right? So just the same way, if we are dead, that doesn't mean our cells die. It's always that cells live. So when cells live, what happens, why this universe and god came into the frame? So how we receive signals from the environment. So here the environment is our universe. So from universe, in the outer structure, what happens, we receive all the signals from it. And when we receive all the signals, that uh, what actually he says is, when we receive signals and our body is decayed, or our body, like body's lifetime is done, it's just that again you get another body. There is no end. So this process keeps on continuing. And in whichever way you were in your previous lifetime, there will be again another person replacing that with almost the same features, because the cells makes that imprints there. So the cell says that okay, this is the right environment situation where you can be in with your features or with your beliefs. So that is how this actually no death concept came into the picture. And it is just that we are part of the universe, and the outer structure is the cells do not lie, and cells always live unless and until they are unhealthy. So when they are healthy, what happens, they are part of universe. So that is how the communication is made. When the communication is made, it imprints for the next lifetime, and it imprints for some other person in the present lifetime, just the way how you were, and you will go into the place of someone who had been. So that is how this will happen. So these are the, oh my god, we completed 11 laws. So these are the 11 laws in this beautiful biology of a belief. And I didn't go much deeper, but I have just took the outer lines so that to make it in brief, because it's just that we had only 30 to 40 minutes to share our knowledge, so I had to do this. All right, we have 5 to 10 minutes to spend on questions. So let me know if you have any questions, and you can just unmute yourself. You okay? We got a doubt from Ishwar, that small doubt. Yeah, if people are taking birth in handicap, the reason is imbalance of cells of previous karma. Yes, there is an important point about this. That's a good question. I can tell you one more important point. So when it was the point of conception for parents and parental behavior, parents responsibility is only to, for a mother especially, to keep her womb so comfortable. So that is where only mother is used. So to make her, uh, all her responsibility is to maintain a healthy womb, so that a baby or the cells who have come first before the body can be comfortable in the comfortable environment. When it is not being made, when the mother cannot provide the comfortable environment in the womb, that is where the physically challenged or abnormal childs are born. So that is the only thing. So that is why it is even important for parents to understand the cell structure or this parenting pattern. Then even they can maintain it in a right way. So I think, Ishwar, is it clear? So did I answer your question? All right. You can talk, I guess. Yeah, you can talk.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, done. I got answer.
All right. Thank you.
I pressed, but it is host. Host is not yet muted.
Okay, okay, no problem. So, yeah. Any other questions we have today? So, this is it all about the biology of a belief. So, tomorrow, let's be with the same continuation of this biology of a belief, and with even there are some significant pictures that so that we can understand much more clear that he provided. So let us all just give it a glance on it tomorrow. So this was just all the living laws that we just had to know about it, so that we have covered it today. So thank you all so much for being here. So see you all tomorrow. Good night and good morning. Thank you. Bye bye.